Hi, welcome to the Meeting of Minds podcast. I'm your host, Philippa Robinson. So this is another of my, the new series 5, where I'm trying to do shorter episodes. So she says, quickly looking at a clock, 20 minutes or so. And let me know what you think about the shorter episodes versus the longer episodes. Do you have a preference? Do you care? Do you prefer the shorter ones, the longer ones? Yeah, I'd really be interested to hear what you think. I really would. So if you can let me know, that would be great. I'm going to have some guests. So that's going to be a challenge, keeping the episodes short. Those guest episodes might get a little bit longer, but, let's see how it goes. So today, I want to talk about a subject that I actually wrote a Medium post about. If you listen to last week's episode, you'll have heard me talk about how much I'm enjoying writing blog posts on the Medium site. And I wrote a post, not for my own account, but for my for the account on Medium for the Confident Creative Club that I'm a member of. The lovely Helen Redfern, who runs that club, and she's been a previous guest if you want to go and check out my episode with her. She has encouraged us all to write a post if we want to, and she's putting those on the Confident Creative account on Medium. So even if you read some of what I've written on Medium, you might not come across this because it's not actually on my account, although there will be a link to it. So I thought I'd talk about it here. So it's all about the joy that I have found in making new friends since I've turned 50. So the joy of making new friends in this second phase of my life. One of the podcasts that I was on recently was called Second Spring. And I've heard other people refer to the period in a woman's life post-menopause as a second spring. I think I like it. I'm not sure it's not a little twee, but I think I quite like it. And I like the idea of it being different, acknowledging that it's different post-menopause and that it can be every bit as good as the time before, if not better, if only we can see it like that. And I, for one, have definitely found my life over 50 has changed dramatically. It is so much better. I am so much more my own true self. And I won't go back. I really wouldn't. I'd take away a couple of the aches and pains, but I'm hoping they'll go away anyway. But honestly, I would not go back. And I intend to bloody enjoy this next stage of my life. I am enjoying this next stage of my life, and that is going to continue. So I decided to write about it because having had this conversation with a few friends, they tell me that they don't really make new friends as they're not really making new friends as they're getting older. Now I found the opposite. I am making a lot of new friends. So I don't know. I think a lot of that has got to do with the change that I've been through, the changes in my life, the change in my outlook, the change in, just really who I am, to be honest. So perhaps it's got something to do with that. But those new friends that I'm making, as well, of course, as my old friends, I'm not saying the new friends are better than the old friends. I'm really not. But there's such a joy in it. So yeah, I wrote a post about it because, I remember back when I was young, women in their 50s seemed, very old, not just older than I was as a kid, but like really old. Now, I know when you're a child, everyone seems to be older, and you can't really comprehend what it's going to be like when you are older. But I do think that women in their 50s, when I was a child, and that's 4 or 5 decades ago now, they were older, they looked older, they behaved older. And I don't know, what do you think? Maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's just me. So you know, for a long time, I think it's been a long held belief that when, you know, once women are in their 50s and their childbearing years are over, then they are, well, practically useless. You know, they have no use. Their use was to have children. And whether they have had children or not, and that's a choice, and sometimes it happens and it's not a choice, but those years are over. And then what? What is it about women? But, you know, all the wisdom that us post-50 women have gained in their life, everything that we've seen, everything we've been through, you know, and all of, you know, it kind of seems that's all considered to be sort of irrelevant. And women in their 50s are largely invisible and ignored. Now, I do know some women who actually revel in that because they feel they can get away with anything because nobody's really looking. And I love that rebellious spirit. I've got one friend in particular who says that, and I love that rebellious spirit. I also know other people in their 50s who are very definitely not going to settle for being ignored and being treated as though they're invisible. And I totally applaud that as well. I think I have one foot in both camps at the moment, if I'm totally honest, but I am verging more towards I am definitely not invisible. I am going to be visible. And I'm working on the not being ignored. So, but definitely, you know, I am now a woman in my 50s. And like many women my age and older, I am definitely not ready to sit down in a chair with a blanket over my knees and practically, you know, wait to die. You know, I'm sure women in the past weren't ready to sit down in a chair and wait to die, but what else was there for them? And really, you know, when if you looked for images of women in their 50s, a lot of the time you would find grey, white-haired, you know, slightly stooped, dressed very sort of conservatively with a little c, an old-fashioned way, and kind of a resigned look on their face as though, well, that's it now. And, you know, that's not the way it is anymore. I actually did Google women in 50s, and the images are of vibrant, sassy, very much alive women who just ooze fabulousness. Made up word, but I love it. And, you know, so that's very different, isn't it? And I've been saying for a while now that women currently in their 50s, like me, I feel we're blazing the trail a little bit for the women to follow, because we're not sitting down in a chair and looking for a blanket. And instead, we are forging forward in this second spring of our life. But we have very few role models of ordinary people in our own lives. I know there are plenty of celebrities, but I think that's different. But I think there are few role models in our lives to show us how to really thrive and excel and forge forward at this time of our life. And the ones of us who are trying to do that are very much doing it our own way. We're just working it out as we go along. We are, you know, we're not succumbing to that stereotype of what life would be like in our 50s. Instead, you know, I know I'm not alone, and there are a lot of women, and I totally agree with them, that want women and younger women to come to know that there is so much freedom on the other side of the menopause. That freedom probably not experienced since before we started our periods. And I heard today that our post-menopause hormone levels, when they settle down, the levels of the hormones that have changed go down to what they were when we were children. And those are the hormones that bring out the caring, nurturing side, so that we can fulfill our destiny. And, you know, if anybody's listening to this who haven't been able to have children, and have or have made a conscious decision not to have children, I really hope that anything I'm saying doesn't offend or upset you. And if it does, I am really sorry, because I know it's not everybody's desired destiny to have children, nor is it actually possible for everyone. I really understand that. But actually, we all then go through the menopause, whatever has happened to us biologically during those years, up to 50. And for all of us, there is a freedom, on the other side, where we can be free to explore what we want in this next stage of our life. Yeah, we might have children living at home. I am 53 and I've got a 14 and a 15-year-old living, obviously still at home. We might have parents that we're caring for. I don't. Mine have both gone now. But it's the depletion of the estrogen, which some people refer to as the biddable hormone, that makes women biddable, wanting, needing to do what people want of them, in a way. So it's the reduction of that estrogen that brings us the newfound desire to do something for ourselves. And I'm all for that. I really am. So I'm telling you this for two reasons. One, I want to let younger women know that the menopause years are not to be feared. In fact, I think they are to be celebrated. And now, post 50, there is not a day goes by that I don't celebrate that I am now in my 50s and probably menopausal. Not quite over that 12 months mark yet, but probably, hopefully. And the second reason I want to say that is to encourage women around my age and older to embrace this time of their life. Do it for you. You spent so many years doing it for everybody else. It's your turn now. So as human beings, we are hardwired for connection. It's a primitive survival strategy, safety in numbers. These days, we still crave connection. But as we're no longer surviving, we're no longer surviving the attack of a wild animal like a saber-toothed tiger or something, so we can be more discerning about who we connect with. And we seek out connections that light us up. So we look for radiators, not drains. I love that saying. And making new friends has been a highlight, really, of my post 50 years. The friends that I've made at this stage really nourish my soul. I'm not saying the old ones don't, but they nourish my soul and bring me something that I have yearned for, deep connection and a chance to explore my rich inner world with like-minded, feisty and kind women. My new friends are not better than my old friends, like I've said. They're just different. And actually, the truth is that probably I allow myself to be different with my new friends in a way that I can't be with my old friends. Sometimes I think I find myself stuck in a pattern with my old friends, showing up in a way that I think they expect me to. But I am different now, and I'm working on how to bring the new me into my old established friendships. Some are easier than others. But when it comes to new friends, I am starting the relationship as the new me, and I find it much easier to bring in the whole new me. I found friends in many places, some from a course I did, and we have a mutual fascination for talking about the effects of shame. I know, we know how to have a good time, don't we? I joined a writing group for creatives who lack confidence, and that's the Confident Creative Club run by Helen Redfern. And I've made some wonderful connections there with those beautiful women, and some of them I call friends, even though I've only ever met them on Zoom. Just the other week, I met a new woman, initially in a Zoom group, and then we met in person because we live reasonably close, and we clicked immediately. On the surface, we appear very different. She is much more the quiet one to my louder version. But at the core, we share the same values and we want to do the same sort of work in the world. The second time we met, we decided we were going to be friends. Then I have the friendship with a gorgeous soul who is half my age. That's Louisa. If you've listened to some of the podcast episodes that I've recorded with her, and my friendship with her has been, one of the biggest and most joyful of surprises. We originally met at work. We worked together. I'm not, and neither of us are there anymore, actually. She's left as well. But we easily spend hours together talking about everything from work, politics and problems, to human design, crystals, to cooking, oracle cards, to getting rid of a mouse infestation. We just talk about anything and everything, and it's such a joy to me. It really is. And I'm over 50, but she's very definitely not. She's not even 30. So there is a real magic there. There are other connections that I made through a business group that I joined 18 months ago when I started my business, and some of them have become friends. And then there is a woman I connected with on another course that I did last year. We've remained in contact, and she lives in Romania. I've never met her in person, but we Zoom once a week. And we've become really firm friends over the last 10 months, and we are really helping each other in various ways, and just a lovely friendship is really growing there. So it's never too late to make friends. I just want to encourage you to keep an open mind, talk to people you meet, give something of yourself, but only as much as you are comfortable with. And you might find they give something of themselves back. And that right there could be the start of a new friendship. So that's the podcast episode for today that I wanted to share with you. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Take good care of yourselves. I'll be back soon with another episode. And in the meantime, you can go over to my website, which is safeandsupported.co.uk, where you can check out about my book. You can find a link there to buy it on Amazon if you're interested. You can find out about my coaching work, my workshops. I'm doing workshops live in person in Bristol. I'm doing one in June and one in July. If you're interested, get in touch. And my courses, my Envision series of courses, I am really going to be concentrating on running those, because I am realizing just how important the work is that we do in those, and how people really enjoy being in a group. I really enjoy running a group and being in a group, and it turns out that I'm not the only one. And it's a really great way to start this investigation into ourselves, into a better relationship with ourselves. And, everyone on the course can learn from each other. It's really wonderful, it is. So if you are interested in that, you can find out about the courses on the website as well. So take good care of yourselves. I'll be back next week. And until then, bye.
Thank you for listening to the Meeting of Minds podcast. You can find this podcast in all the usual places. Please tell your friends. Please subscribe. And if you have a moment, I'd be really grateful if you could rate and review, as it helps other people find us and helps me spread the messages of empowerment and positivity that I'm really passionate about. If you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website, www.safeandsupported.co.uk. Until next time, bye.